Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time in mid-September with Harrison Young. It's an absolutely beautiful day out. We have an awesome guest in here tonight. Not a pretty girl for a change. I actually have a gentleman from LA. He's a stand-up comedian. And before we get to him, we've got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence with the interview with Mr. Bo Applegate. So here we go. We got Auto Country, king of the used car in Abington. We got a new one, Zachary's Restaurant, down the road and up the road in Stoughton, I should say. We got Speedy Oil Change in Abington. They're a new one. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Sweezy Fence Erectors in Whitman. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. They buy and sell motorcycle equipment and old cars. Always interested in buying project cars. In Brockton, like I said, we got John's Greenhouses and Floral Shop in Brockton. We got Doggy Boutique, all-breed professional grooming in Brockton, run by my next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell, my wonderful next-door neighbor. We got Easton Fitness right here in Easton, Northeastern in the Village Shops. We got T. Martini and Son Floor Covering in Abington. No job is too big or too small. And we got MDI Auto Brokers and Repair in Whitman, home of the fully certified used car. I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, now we will introduce my guest, is a very laid-back gentleman, Mr. Bo Applegate.
How's it going?
How's it going, both? I don't know. I just found out something about him that totally blew my mind. Most people, as you know, those of you in the acting industry right now would know, or attempting to gain fame, usually to follow the former mega trend of going from northeast to southwest. He did the exact. I don't know about northeast to southwest, but he told me he's from LA and he came back east to find fame and fortune. And I always say everything happens for a reason, so we're going to elaborate on that. So right away, I want to know why did you? I mean, just break that down more for me. Why did you think coming east to the Boston area would make you more famous than being in LA and trying to pursue your career out there?
I don't know if I thought it was going to make me famous. I moved out here originally for family. My father-in-law's family's out here.
Okay.
So he wanted to retire out here. My family left California years ago, so
Why?
I just moved up. They didn't like it anymore. California is expensive, and it's always on fire.
That's true. It sure is now.
Yes. So it's on fire right now, and it was on fire last year, and it was on fire when I left.
That's right. Okay. When did you leave?
About 2 years ago.
Okay. So you were transplanted for just 2 years from here. Okay. All right. Well, now, so what I do with every guest is I try to find out what they were like as kids and how they got to where they're at. So even though you left LA 2 years ago to come here, you still have a history in that area of the country that we want to cover first to figure out, I'm like a detective piecing together pieces of a puzzle. So tell me about, you grew up in LA, did you?
Yeah, I grew up about 26 miles east of LA.
Okay, one of those suburban valley towns, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. And what was life like for you there as a kid? What were your goals and aspirations?
Not to get arrested.
What's that?
Not to get arrested.
Okay.
And I failed that twice.
Okay, well, that's interesting, but did that help get you where you are now to some degree, or what?
Everything gets you where you're at. It's hard to say if I didn't do
All right,
that.
let me rephrase that. What positive things happened in your life that you did, aside from getting, well, obviously negative, these are negative things, getting arrested, although I suppose you sure was froze for a good cause twice. They got you here you got your career launched as a comedian now. I mean, what events led up to that? Just think back as far as you can, and let's figure this out.
I've always been a class clown.
Clown, okay, I got that.
Got me kicked out of school a few times.
Well, all right, now, a few times.
Yes.
Really? Well, just being a class clown usually doesn't get one kicked out of school. If you throw a fire alarm switch maybe once, that might be grounds. Is that what you did? These are tricky things you're throwing at me here, and I don't want to pry too deeply if you did stuff that you don't want to tell everybody about.
Doesn't bother me.
All right, so go ahead. Just spill the beans then.
Oh, I grew up poor.
Piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, I grew up poor. Big family.
The way you dress now, you wouldn't know it, but that's interesting. Okay.
Big family. I was the middle child.
Okay.
I didn't like school.
You wanted attention, right?
Partly, I just didn't like authority, I guess.
You didn't like authority. I don't either. I get it. Okay. All right. Well, you got thrown out of school a couple of times, but you got back in. Is that it? If you got thrown out of school more than once, it means you had to have gotten back in at some point.
Well, I left the third time on my own.
Okay. Third time's a charm. All right. Well, did you go to any other? Did you graduate school at least? Graduate high school or not?
Yeah, I took a test.
You did. Okay. Took the GAD.
We had something similar in California.
Okay, right. It's different in every state. All right. What about beyond that? Any more education beyond the high school GED?
Yeah, I have my BA in creative writing. I have my master's in education.
Where?
One is UC Riverside. The other one is University of Phoenix.
Okay, so California and Arizona. Interesting. Okay. So I take it you like to write if you have a creative degree in writing, and a degree in creative writing.
I always enjoyed poetry.
Okay, me too. I wrote a book of poems when I was 19, and that we're talking 42 years ago. That's awesome. Okay. Did you ever write a book or self-publish or anything like that?
No, it's what somebody said when I was younger. Professor said, if you want to make money, write stories.
Yep.
If
I
you
did a
want
lot
to
of book
create
of short
art,
stories too.
Yeah, if you want to make art, write poetry.
Oh, okay.
So I never made any money at it. I never self-published. I got out of school and I was like, I need to make money, so I became a teacher.
You became a teacher, okay, and that was also in LA.
Yes.
And there was no problem, and so your previous record did not hinder your ability to be a teacher. Or, in other words, when you applied for a teaching position, it didn't stop them from hiring you. That you got thrown out of school.
No, I had all the paperwork.
You did, okay, that's great. I think that's wonderful. And what did you just teach? What did you teach? And what was it? High school, elementary school, what?
I taught adult education for 10, 11 years, and I worked in parochial Catholic schools for about 6 years.
Okay, well, I guess for someone who doesn't like authority, you certainly were turning the tables, weren't you? Okay. All right, so how did that lead you to become a comedian? I mean, that's what you are. Is that your full-time profession now?
Yeah, it's, I guess you can call it profession. I'm a stay-at-home dad.
Okay.
So when we had our first 2 children, my wife always made more money than me. So I worked nights as an adult school teacher, and I took care of the kids during the day.
Okay.
And then when we came out here, I don't have a credential, so I just take care of the kids.
Okay, but what about, I mean, do you have gigs around, I mean, have you been doing regular stand-up gigs in the Boston area since you've been here for 2 years?
No, I only started about a year ago. I took a class with John Parada in Rhode Island.
Okay. Oh, John Parada, I had him on the show.
Yeah, you
Did
know
he tell
John.
you?
I haven't. John's been hiding out. He's diabetic and his wife has a health issue, so they've just been staying indoors.
Oh, really?
So I haven't seen him too much. We Zoom on occasion.
Right.
But I took a class with him. I enjoyed it. I got on stage. I've been doing it since. I had things lined up, and then the pandemic hit. And
Yeah, of course, obviously. And I had a 4-month hiatus myself because of it.
Yes.
But we're back. And all right, well, have you done anything have you done any gigs since we've come back? Or during the pandemic, did you do any virtual stand-up online?
Yeah, I ran, during the pandemic, I started a talk show on Facebook.
Congratulations.
And I just interviewed comedians. It was more of a joke. I ran an open mic on Zoom.
Okay.
And then I started doing Zoom showcases.
Okay.
So I have one coming up next Wednesday.
Oh, great.
So on Facebook and on Zoom, you can see it.
And all right, now so you do this out of your house?
Yeah, through Facebook and through the pandemic, a lot of people, since they had so much time on their hands,
That's true.
decided like, hey, I'll give comedy a try. So there's a lot of Zoom.
I always say
open
everything
mics.
happens for a reason, but that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so I just reach out and hit up out-of-work comedians, see if they want to do it.
Okay. And now, see, John Parada is the only comedian I actually know that teaches a class in comedy. And I was delighted to have him on the show. I had him on at the Carver location in early 2019. Did you get to open for other people too when you were doing before the pandemic? Were you like at clubs opening for other people?
No, I wasn't that far ahead.
Okay.
It takes a little longer than that.
Oh, I know it does.
I've done some showcases and I never opened. I did some drop-ins, but
okay.
I've never headlined anything besides my own Zoom shows.
All right. Well, that will come in time. Okay. So, all right. Well, what kind of? I'm just curious. Do you want to do a little? We want to do some material here. It's certainly up to you. I mean, we got 25 minutes to go, and if you want to try to make the audience laugh, go for it. It's totally up. It's totally your call.
I'll try, but I'm a very blue comic.
You're very which comic?
Blue.
Meaning dark humor?
Yes.
That's okay. Go ahead. If it sounds like it's out of line, we'll edit it out. But I think,
okay. So you've heard of An Irish Goodbye, right?
A which?
An Irish Goodbye?
An Irish goodbye? No, what's that?
An Irish goodbye is when you're at a party, you disappear, you go home, you don't tell anybody. They
Right.
have no idea why you left.
Right?
So in the South, they have something very similar. It's called an Alabama adios.
Okay.
So Irish goodbye, you take off, you don't tell anybody where you went, nobody knows why you left. Alabama adios is where you swallow a shotgun and don't leave a note.
Oh, bada bing. Okay, that's interesting. All right, proceed. Go continue. This is, the good thing is that the FCC doesn't regulate. I mean, that's all right. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with dark humor. You're not putting down anybody specifically. You're not taking shots at anybody. You're just generalizing, and that's way different.
Yeah.
But all right, go ahead. I like it. Go ahead. Keep going. See what you can do here.
So my name is Bo.
Yep.
And when you have a unique name, everybody is always asking you, what's it short for? So I'm always asked, is it short for Beauregard? Is it short for Bodie? Or even Jimbo? And I always have to explain to people, I'm not a redneck. I'm not from the South. I've never surfed a day in my life. Bo is a French name.
Okay.
I'm a coward.
You're a which?
A coward.
A coward?
Yeah. Well, that one didn't take off. That usually does well.
That's all right. Just because you didn't spell it with, like, if it was spelled as French in a French way, it would be B-E-A-U. When you spelled it B-O.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually I don't have my name written behind me, so the audience doesn't care.
That is your given name, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
But I just say it. Nobody knows that my name is B.O.
Did you ever do any like acting at all in addition to the stand-up comedy, or like have you ever been in any films or on stage at all as an actor?
No, never had an interest to do it.
All right. What about music? You ever do music?
No, can't sing a lick.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Never played an instrument.
I goofed off with the guitar for about a year or two, and then
Okay.
I was young. I gave it up.
You gave it up. Okay. All right. Well, so you like to base your material on like redneck stuff from the South. That sounds like a little bit.
Oh, my first bits were about redneck stuff because I like to make fun of my family. They left California and moved to West Virginia.
Okay.
So my first jokes were just making fun of them. And then later jokes just became things I knew or things that popped in my head. But a lot of it is blue humor, dark humor.
Okay.
I get some flack. It's hard to do, how can you say? I guess at times I write jokes
Yep.
about current situations
Okay.
that don't always go well.
Well, I understand. I mean, listen, you're up there. I mean, a lot of humor can be offensive. There's no question about it. And I assume that's what you're getting at. You offend people.
Yeah, depends on the crowd though. I tell some jokes, like I have one joke, I call it the Black Firefighter.
Okay.
And the joke is, I think black people make the best firefighters because fighting fires and bigotry are often the same. When a firefighter enters a room that's ablaze, he notes his exits. Where a black man enters a room full of white people, he notes his exits. Firefighter sees a man with a fire hose, he thinks business is going to get done. Black man sees a white man with a fire hose, he knows, damn, business is going to be done. Fireman knows if everything gets too hot, one of his buddies will pull him out. Black man knows if things get too hot, not a damn white man in the crowd is going to save him.
Oh, well, just so you know, the opinions expressed on the show are not mine. But okay, all right. I got it. Okay.
African Americans didn't like that joke. White people, not so much.
Oh, really? See, I thought it'd be the other way around. Okay. All right. So tell me about some of the venues where you have performed. I'm just, over the...
I've done mostly local things. I did Comedy Connection. I did Mohegan.
Okay.
The Comics Roadhouse. A lot of smaller place where we did showcases, like there's Wings on 5 and there's... I forgot the name of the place because it's been closed for so long.
Right.
Copperfields over in the Smithfield.
I know where that is. I went to a party in South Boston. Yeah, I was at a party there 4 years ago.
Yeah,
it's a nice location.
Yeah, Copperfields we've done.
It's closed now?
They just haven't been doing
because
live
of the
entertainment.
the virus, probably, right.
We've been trying to get them to allow us in again.
Okay.
And mostly things like that, small things. Before the pandemic, I had some things going a little wider.
Okay.
But then
No, I know
down.
that it screwed up a lot of things. I assume that at some point, I don't know about now, but once we're totally back in commission, as to the fullest extent of normal, my hunch is you'll make jokes about the virus, but not, you're going to wait on that, right, or not? You're not going to make any jokes about it.
I have one joke that's kind of about the pandemic, but everybody's making jokes about it.
They are.
Yeah. So
okay.
it's kind of like
I guess you can't. I guess no matter how dire a situation is, comics have to be comical in their own way, and they try to shock the world. I know how that is.
Yeah, it's just everybody's doing it. So
right.
It's like writing a love poem. All the greats have already done.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you may skip over that and move on to other stuff. Okay. All right. Well, so tell me what a typical day looks like for you now that now that you're sort of back in circulation, to the half degree, in terms of like setting yourself up for stuff to do.
Right now the day is my kids are distance learning, so I get them set up.
Okay.
I run my errands. Usually at nightfall is when, if you're a comic, that's when things happen.
Exactly.
So
tell me about nightfall for you.
Nightfall usually is everybody in my house goes to sleep early, so I take off. You find the open mics. There's not a lot in Boston yet because every city in Boston's different.
I mean, every club in Boston's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rhode Island has 2 or 3 open mics.
Right.
So we'll hit those. There's a couple in Providence. There's one in Cranston.
Right.
I'm trying to start one in East Providence. We'll hit up these. Then you connect with your friends, the other comics, and we try to see what's going up. Their shows are slowly opening in the Rhode Island area.
Okay.
But it's hard to find an outdoor venue that's large enough.
Okay.
But there are one. The Trinity Beer Garden has a show. Askew in Providence is doing comedy shows on Thursdays. Some of the distilleries and breweries are trying to open up if they can have the outdoor space. I'm talking to somebody on Aquidneck Island in Newport about starting a show there.
Okay. You're at a Newport, at a brewery, you're going to do a show? There's a brewery right here in the building, Shovel Shop Brewery.
Oh.
One of the guys that works there just opened the door for me when I brought in my boombox.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, that's interesting.
Send them my way.
Maybe you could do it over there. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you could entertain the troops at the Shovel Shop Brewery. Have you ever done like private parties or like events like that?
I haven't. I've done like VA shows and VFW shows and stuff like that, Knights of Columbus stuff. I haven't done anything where it's like a bachelor party.
Okay.
I don't know.
We usually have women at bachelor parties. Pop out of cakes.
Sometimes
Yeah.
It's not unusual for somebody's like, oh, let's get a comic or something like that. I haven't done any. I don't really have the desire to do a bachelor party or a bachelorette party.
Well, forget the bachelor parties. Like, say, what about a birthday party or a bar mitzvah or something? Anything that's, where there's a lot of people.
I'm open to anything, but nothing's coming their way right now.
I understand, but like, do you do your own PR work is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay, and what does that consist of usually?
I do a lot of social media. And
Okay.
then I'll walk around and hit up some of the local spots, like the breweries, the restaurants, and give them the card, see if they want to do anything.
Okay, that's cool. And how's that? And it's a little slow now, but how was it before the pandemic started? Were you getting some good results?
Yeah, I was picking up some speed.
Okay.
And then, like you said, everything
Right,
died. But yeah, I was picking up some speed. I had some shows lined up. I was happy.
Okay, as it should be, and you will. And my hunch is that sooner or later you will bounce back. Now, I saw something on, speaking of John Perrotta, there was like a little, like an array of squares, and I think you were in it too.
Yes.
I was looking for that because, do you work with any of those people at all?
Yes.
There was a girl that was like in the second one on the left in the middle. I'd love to interview her. Do you know who she is?
Was she a young girl?
Yeah.
Blonde?
She had dark hair.
Not the girl with the accent, right?
I didn't really hear anything. I just looked at.
Okay. The only girl I can think of, the one that was with me last time, was Holly Johnston.
It might have been her. Okay. Picture this. This is the array. She was the one in the middle on the left. If you were, let's say I was looking at if I was looking at the phone and I was seeing that, she'd be over here. So it would be on the left. Is that who that would be?
She was the only girl on that show, yeah.
Okay. And is she a local, I guess she's from Rhode Island?
No, she's on the west side of Mass.
Like Western Massachusetts.
Yeah, somewhere closer to Woonsocket.
So tell me about that event. That was a virtual a group of comedians doing their own stuff and in a cluster, correct? Is that what
Yeah.
that was? Okay.
What it was, like I said, John is trying to keep social distance.
Yeah.
He's given up temporarily a lot of his gigs to other people.
Okay.
So he started doing, and I helped set him up with it. He wanted to do a Zoom talk show where he could just talk to all his friends.
Okay.
So we started doing that, and then that show where you saw me is he wanted to do a comedy show. So he brought us on, we each did 3-5 minutes, and then we sat around and we talked for a while.
Well, that's great. Okay. How did you help him? I mean, are you good at like editing and setting up Zoom stuff? Because I'm thinking some people, I was when I was doing when I was in the hiatus from the virus, the guy that I did my show before, that's the program director, he said he offered to come to my house and set up a Zoom thing for me, but I didn't want to do it because there's a lot more involved for me than just trying to get people to talk to me from thousands of miles away, which I guess Zoom can do, which you can do with Zoom. Right now, I'm not really ready for the technology. Plus, I like the in-person, gig that I have here and with my other stations. So I think we're okay. The mic just fell on the floor, but as long as this didn't come off, we're fine. Okay, so you're pretty. So when it comes to like editing, do you edit your own stuff?
Yes.
Have you learned it? Now, did you learn that in school?
No, because of the pandemic, that's the skills I picked up. I learned to edit and broadcasting software. There's all types of free software, so I broadcast it through special software, and then if I need to record it, I'll edit it afterwards. So
okay.
I'm learning video editing, sound editing as we speak.
Okay, that's great. So that sounds like you're spending your time. Are you learning that online too? Or do you,
It is all self-taught.
it is all self-taught.
And YouTube videos.
Okay, that's great. Okay, all right. So a few minutes ago I said to you, did you ever open for anybody? And you said no. But then you were with these cluster of other comedians. So what about the possibility of, did you think that will help your career because you each had a chance to, spew some material, you took turns doing it. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion almost anytime you get, anytime anybody sees you is a good time.
It is, I know.
Especially at this level. So
Okay.
it could help. John Parada, he's like the godfather of comedy in Rhode Island.
He is.
So a lot more people watch anything he does than they watch what I do. So it's good to be on his show.
You know Christy LaFleur?
Yeah, Christy, she was on the show.
She was.
I remember watching it.
Carver also. Boy, she is a raw lady. I had no idea how raw she was until I saw her Facebook posts.
Oh yes, Christy, she gets in some fights. She's a very sweet person.
She is. I love Christy.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Some people just attract weirdos, and she's just one of the ones weirdos.
Well, that's because she's outrageous,
Yeah.
Now let me ask you: would you consider? I mean, those little blurbs you plugged a few minutes ago. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit shocking, not overdone. But would you? You don't. I mean, I'm looking at you, and you don't look too outrageous. But what would you say on a scale of 1 to 10? Would you consider your comedy outrageous? Like, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it as a number?
7 or 8.
Okay, so you're up there then.
Yeah, I don't think 5's average. I don't think.
I mean, I'm looking at you, and I actually see a guy that I would have pictured as maybe a male model, in a Gentleman's Quarterly.
Down.
You ever done that? I'm just curious.
No.
You ever tried to do that?
Nope.
Well, I'm just, you're a sharply dressed. Have you ever in the military before at all?
No.
Really? Okay. So because you don't like authority, and plus you've.
Yeah, I figured if I did that, I'd definitely be in jail.
Right. Okay. All right. That's an honest answer. That's all you can ask for. All right. So what does the future look like going forward now? Here once there's a vaccine or whatever, and once we're able to really move around again like we are today, without masks, without any hindrances, what are your plans? Do you have any? I mean, what are your goals for the next, say, year or two?
My goals are I'm trying to set up my own showcases, my own shows.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm visiting venues, handing out the cards, contacting people. And I'm trying to start open mics, just to get more local comedy out there.
Okay.
And if everything opens up, I'll probably do Comedy Connection in Providence a few times. And we'll see what else is out there. Random showcases and shows pop up here and now throughout everywhere.
That's great. Well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. So like I told you before, like Kim gave me the signal, it's 5 minutes to go. So what I want you to do in the remaining time is to look at the camera and give shouts out to people that are gonna see us, because a lot of people, you can start with your wife and kids, and You can talk to John Perotti. You can say hi to Christy and that Johnson or whatever her name.
Holly Johnston.
Holly, yeah, I'd love to get her on the show. She's a pretty girl.
I'll send her your info.
What's that?
I'll send her your info.
I would appreciate it if you had fun with me. But go ahead, give a few shouts out, and then we'll wrap the show up as we started it.
Oh,
The music and the snapping.
there you go. The snapping.
That's right.
You did very good at that, by the way. I was watching.
Doing it for 10 years, I ought to be, right?
The only one I ever did was that.
Yeah, me too. You look a little like Curly. There you go. The next
there you go.
Stooges film, you're Curly.
Yeah.
You got to gain a little weight, though.
I know. That's just because this is the pandemic
That's right.
haircut.
I understand. Now at the end of the show, we start really getting funny. Okay.
There you go.
Well, go ahead, give some shouts out, and then we'll wrap it.
Of course, Holly Johnston. Also, Holly Maxwell, or Holly Day, excuse me.
Holly.
Megan, Alyssa. I know a lot of Hollies. It's a popular name out here. Aaron.
Not the band, the Hollies. I get it. That's too
Yeah,
good.
there's too many Hollies.
Go on, yep.
Oh, now I'm forgetting everybody. I'm bad at that.
That's
one.
okay. We can condense them.
But of course, John Perotti, you gotta love him. Stevie Collins, we gotta love him. Trevor Dion, you gotta love him. Of course, there's Rory P. and Shamil Kumar, and these are just comics that I know. And of course, Winsong Hadley, she runs a SKU in Providence. We gotta give a shout out to the Pub and Park. They also do an open mic. Also, Corey Mayo over at Rick's in Woonsocket, that's an open mic. And of course, Brianna Tatiana, his girlfriend. I'm trying to think who else is out there. I'm really bad at names.
That's okay. You're doing great. Well, so my next thing I'm going to ask you before we wrap it up completely is that I want you to talk to. If you had fun with me tonight, I want you to talk to all those people and see if we can get them on as guests. John's already been on, and so has Christy. But those other people that you mentioned, I want you to, when we share the show, when it's up, I'm going to ask that you share it with all of them and see if we can get them on as guests. Because I get a lot of my guests to word of mouth of current guests. And I get 98% through Facebook, but I get the other 2% from them, sharing their lovely experience with me. So I hope you had fun with me. And
No, it was great.
Okay, so we're ready to wrap it up like we started it?
Yeah, that's
All right,
great.
Bo Applegate, great job. And I see big things from you, and onward we travel. And on that note, folks, thanks for watching Topic Time. See you next time. Take care. Have a good one.